good morning or good night. Kind of depends on where you're at. But this recording is just a sort of read through of the blog for sailing. It was posted on the 19th, and this video is getting uploaded on the 20th. So if you haven't read it already, feel free to continue watching the video. It's just a sort of read through to get an idea of what's to come, right, on the 19th, or continuing into old school to this day. But if you've already read it and you are already playing, and maybe you don't need to, watch this video, don't worry. Just feel free to go ahead and close the tab already or move on. But I just wanted to go ahead and make a recording of this because, for some who really do enjoy reading the blog, or maybe they're working, this is a great way just to listen to it, because I'm going to go through the entire blog myself. So, yeah, that's really it. And I hope you're having a fantastic time playing sailing right now, Old School RuneScape.
Today is a big day in Old School RuneScape. Today is the day sailing has been released, right? As you can see here with the change log and the blog for sailing, I'm going to go ahead and go through it today. So sailing is Old School's 24th skill, right? After all this time, effort that they put into developing it, we at the end of the day, we had to pick between shamanism, taming, and sailing. Sailing came out on top. And no doubt, this is the largest update Old School's had in a long time, right? Large update. The map is massive now, right? So there's so much content coming to the game today, right? Over 30 new islands covering out through all the oceans in Gielinor, several new training methods, new rewards, quests, and so much more. Be amongst the first to sail the seas of Gielinor and see what lies beyond the horizon. There's so much content to explore, and you just might find some special surprises along the way, right? There's a video here provided by Solo Mission, being able to sort of get an insight of sailing is something you can kind of go watch at your own accord, right? Understand too, they're going to keep up with any game breaking issues and such throughout the next few days as sailing sort of rolls out, seeing what's going to kind of become of it, right? The plan, right, today, as you saw, maybe you've experienced it already, it's going to be US East being 5 a.m., US West being 2 a.m., Australian 2100 time, EU being 1100 CET, and the UK being 10 GMT, right? Now you can see the time there, the breakdown, right? So what is sailing, right? Sailing is the new utility skill, right, where you captain your own vessel, you manage a crew, explore content found only at sea. With sailing, the oceans of Gielinor are transformed into a fun, playable content, rather than just a blue carpet you used to see. As you progress through sailing levels, you'll be able to upgrade your boat, reach more dangerous areas of the ocean. These areas are uncharted, so anything can happen. Just make sure to keep yourself and your crew alive, so you can live to tell the tale. Test your skills as a true captain, sail anywhere, anytime, and command your crew to become the first to reach the new islands. Sure, you might be familiar with the charter ships, but sailing your own boat will be a completely new experience. Filled with adventure, exploration, and discovery, we've worked hard to make sure it feels like a perfect addition to Old School, and one that could have existed from the very beginning. With that, the race to 99 starts now. So getting started, right? Sailing is accessible to all members' accounts, free to play, so you gotta have to bond up if you want to play. After completing the introductory quest, Pandemonium. There are no requirements to start the quest. Simply speak to Will and Ann at Port Sarim docks when sailing starts your time. So for me, it'd be 5 a.m. EST. All right. And you can see here, right? Once you complete the quest, you'll be granted your very own raft and captain's log. More information about early training for sailing can be found at the start, or the How to Prepare for Sailing blog. You can also upgrade and manage your boat. You can manage, recover, and customize your raft, make it how you wish, and any also future boats that you may have. Remember, they're talking about a maximum of 3 boats to start, so you can have 3 unique different boats, and I know that there's shown to be 3 different sizes, and we'll see that below. Right. And you can do this by speaking to the shipwright, found at most major ports, where they'll take you through to an area called the shipyard. The shipyard is where you'll be able to customize your boat, just like in constructions. You're going to want to bring your hammer and saw, along with the required materials you saw in the How to Prep, in order to prepare yourself, to prepare your vessel for whenever you go out to sea, right? Since the shipyard doesn't have its own bank, but do not worry, most of the time as you level up sailing, you'll unlock ports that have even more convenient sort of setups, accesses to his shipyard, where there's a bank just right nearby. Makes it a lot easier. You can click on this boat's schematics board to sort of modify and upgrade parts of each of your boat, such as the hull, the keel, the sails, and etc., and make them stronger. This will help you withstand some of those dangerous areas at seas, such as enemies or even stormy conditions. You can also add or change facilities on your boat by boarding the gangplank and clicking directly on the facility spot you wish to change. And you can see this in this sort of pop-up or this image here, right? The boat schematic boards is how you can change the overall type of your boat. And then down here, those facility spots are where you're going to be able to add something like a cannon and other sort of tools that you'll need while you're out on your boat. How to train sailing. There are 4 main sailing methods to be able to train your skill, right? In this case, there's port tasks, shipwreck salvaging, sea charting, and the Barracuda trials. These aren't all immediately unlocked, and the blog will kind of talk about how you'll be able to unlock them as you go, what levels, and sort of help focus you on how to train sailing, right? Because remember, this is a brand new skill. No one's got guides for this just yet. There's port tasks, right? Port, not pork task. Port tasks require you to use your boat as a service for an NPC, right? There can be taken from a notice board at the most major ports. Initially, you only be able to take 1 task at a time, but as you level up, you'll be able to take 2, 3, maybe 5, right? There are currently 2 types of port tasks, courier, right, and bounty tasks. Courier tasks involve transporting cargo from A to B, where a bounty task will require you to take down a specific monster and take the loot back to another port. You can see here the gameplay loop, right? You ensure your boat contains a cargo hold. At level 1, your first raft will have already been built. Click on the notice board at most major ports. Select the task you wish to that you have requirements for, and make sure that you can check for the important details, right? Make sure you go to the right place, pick it up from the right place, and deliver to the right place, right? Courier task, make sure to check on how many pieces of cargo you have. Some may need more than just 1. You might have 2 boxes to take with you, something like that. If you're on a courier task, pick up the cargo from the cargo supplies box at the correct port and deposit it into your boat. Courier tasks, make sure you have the correct amount before you set sail. Sail to the destination, and then there's bounty tasks. Now, I should mention, when you sail to the destination, you do need to take that cargo out and place it back in the same place where you pick them up at the previous or the beginning port. And you'll then complete the task immediately. Now, there's bounty task. Make sure that you're equipped with a cannon on your boat to take down enemies at seas. You might also consider having a repair kit, just in case that those enemies do too much harm to your boat. You don't want to sink. Port task rewards consist of that of sailing XP and GP. They can also give you specific type of paints from the port tasks. Stuff like shark paint is used in the shipbuilding, and it's a great color, one-time use and relatively common. Another one is shipwreck salvaging, right? It turns other misfortunes into your own benefits. There are many sunken ships out there, and that still contain valuables. Will you recover them? Shipwreck salvage is a relaxed AFK training method. Simply making sure your boat is equipped with a salvaging hook, then head to a shipwreck salvage, point to gather salvage, and then when there, you can store that in your boat's cargo hold, the salvage, right? Then you can take your salvage back to a port to sort them out into useful materials. I'm sure the way they'll have this set up is that it will scale, if not already explained. So you can see here the sort of process. You would find a salvage in the water. This is what some salvage can look like, and you can sort it at the salvaging station. And you can see the gameplay loop here, right? Make sure your boat has the appropriate salvaging hook for your sailing level. Navigate your boat within a range of shipwreck salvaging areas marked on the world map. Stop your boat when you're close to a shipwreck, and then engage in the salvaging hook facility by clicking on it and beginning to gather salvage. For each salvage you recover, you'll earn a small amount of sailing XP. Salvage will go directly into your inventory, and you can place it into your cargo hold and continue salvaging. Or you can head back to the port and sort the salvage at a salvaging station. From there, sorting your salvage will also award more sailing XP. During the alpha and beta testing, we noticed that players have found ways to make XP from shipwreck salvaging faster at the cost of having some sort of more salvage at docks and drop it and leave it on the ground. We're going to see how this shake things up for the race to 99. Shipwreck salvaging rewards Shipwreck salvaging awards sailing XP, general materials used within shipbuilding. Pretty much that's it. Sea charting. Use your captain's log. You can document, chart, and study areas of the sea that have been previously undiscovered. Chart and Charles, an NPC located in the cave on the Pandemonium, will give you lots of information about sea charting, so if you're ever unsure, we recommend you speak to him. Some charting activities require specific charting items, and others require you to sail straight up to them and click on them to make a note in your captain's log. There are many kinds of charting activities, so the gameplay loop will differ slightly between each one. You can see here, stuff like a generic, you just select on it says, but this one, a spyglass, use your spyglass to look. There's a drink crate, you need to have completed prying times to access. Sea current, right? Current affairs need to be completed in order to use what looks like a duck. Sea depth, you must have the recipe for disaster, pirate peak completed, and also be level 38. And then weather pattern just need to simply be level 57 in sailing. The gameplay loop, open your captain's log and identify which area of the sea you would like to sort of explore and or start charting, as it says. You can then filter your captain's logs by different sea groups of level requirements. By default, your captain's logs will try to avoid exploration spoilers, so each chartable activity will appear as 3 question marks. You can disable this from your settings menu if you prefer. Ensure that you have the right tool for the charting activity that you're looking to complete. Some charting tools are locked behind quests, both new and existing. You can store your charting tools within your cargo hold, just ensure that you have them in your inventory when you're looking to use them. Navigate to your chosen charting activity. If you're not too sure where to go, check your captain's log for more information. Most chartable locations have a visual indicator somewhere in game, or an NPC such as a mermaid or even a troll meteorologist. Here's a breakdown of each activity you can chart, most of which have been lifted from the OSRS wiki page, and you can kind of just see it broken down there. All right, crowbar, which needs the prying times right here, quest. Will allow you to pry open crates and then drink whatever you find inside. Stuff like that. Sea charting awards one-time sailing XP for charting points and additional chunks for completing seas, oceans, and then regions. Speak to Chart and Charles at the Pandemonium to get the additional XP for oceans and full completion. When you chart an entire sea, you'll also unlock some rapids within that area. They give a small boost to when sailing over them in your boat. But please note that these rapids can harm your boat and they require you to have the sufficient upgrades to actually utilize. Specifically the tillers. Other rewards from sea charting include drinks that buff you and your crew. And they're unlocked by finishing charting a specific selection of seas. These can be drunk independently or added to a keg facility on a boat, which provide a buff to all actions performed on the boat. This could be something like simply refilling a beer glass from the keg while on the boat, and you can stack the buffs with other drinks so you can have multiple keg facilities on your boat, but know that you can't drink the same one twice and get sort of the same buff applied twice. It's only one time. We like players to discover more rewards in game, so at a starting point, we recommend you speak to Chart and Charles to find out more. There's also the Barracuda trials, right? Barracuda trials test your knowledge of navigation mechanics through timed-based challenges. Each Barracuda trial is able to have 4 different difficulties for you to choose from. These difficulties range from unranked to swordfish to shark, then marlin. Unranked for those who just want to sail around the course and get a feel for the mechanics, something for you to have a sort of no one-time reward association with it, but feel free to skip this difficulty if you're feeling really confident. But you must complete the previous difficulty levels in order to unlock the next. Swordfish is the lowest level difficulty, then there's Marlin as the highest. Completing each difficulty for the first time will award a one-time larger XP bonus, and then you'll receive a bespoke reward for your efforts. Barracuda Trials award sailing XP as well as unique reward items. Something like the swordfish is a key belonging to the renowned captain, whose chest is somewhere in the world. We'll leave it up to you to uncover where they are and what they contain. There's a shark, a key item used to build a unique facility on your boat which will be useful on your travels. And then there's the marlin, a key item used to build a cosmetic flag which you can display in the back of your boat, reserved for only the best of the best sailors in Gillinor. There's new quests. There is Troubled Tortugas and the Great Conch. Sailing launches with several new quests, the most anticipating being the Troubled Tortugans, which grant access to the Great Conch. A sequel quest, Red Reef, has also been pulled and should be released sometime next year. However, it's important to mention that next year's updates for sailing will be guided by player feedback and could change. More information about this can be found on our release date blog here. You can go there and check that out yourself. More rewards. With sailing, you can expect to find lots of new resources and training methods out by sea. By visiting new islands, it would be impossible to fit everything into this post, so you can check out sailing posts 1, 2, and 3 for more details on specific activities. But here's a top-level breakdown of additional sailing-related content, of all of which pulled in our series of development blogs and from polls from May to October. They've implemented deep-sea trawling. New fish have been added to the game as a part of deep-sea trawling, a hybrid sailing and fishing training method. Simply equip your boat with a trawling net facility and optionally a chum bucket and a sonar orb. High-level trawling nets will allow you to reach down further into the sea and catch even rarer fish. You'll be able to cook these new fish to provide new additional effects. Lantern fishing. Sailing adds 2 new types of squids that can catch using a harpoon. Sword-tip squids and jumbo squids, which can be used in a variety of different ways. Cut them in the bait, cook them, or use them within herb lore as a secondary ingredient to make powerful potions. There's new trees. 4 new types of trees have been added. The Jatoba camphor, the rosewood, the ironwood. I think there's supposed to be a comma between Jatoba and camphor. Most of these new resources are used within shipbuilding, but they functionally exactly as you expect with the new skills like fletching, or I'm sorry, not new skills, with skills like fletching and fire making. There's also new blowpipes. 3 new mid-level blowpipes have been added, those existing of ironwood, rosewood, and camphor. It's important to mention that these all would still sit right underneath the blowpipe that comes from Zora, so don't understand that these could be a sort of better option. The blowpipe from Zora still would out DPS these 3. New farming and herb lore items. Coral and crops. You can see here a slew of them, but farming now includes coral nurseries, a new way to obtain an underwater farming resource including elkhorn, pillar, and umbral coral. These can provide powerful effects in herb lore. You can also grow flax, hemp, and cotton now, which are materials used within shipbuilding via hop patches. Additionally, you can grow the new trees including the rosewood, the ironwood, and the camphor via hardwood patches. Crab hunting. Crab hunting is an engaging new hunter activity designed to provide more consistent and reliable XP in comparison to some of the existing training methods. Place your traps in set locations and bait with them with a fish offcut. After a set amount of time, the crabs will make a dash for the baited trap. You'll never fail to catch the crabs once it's baited. This means it can be a consistent and reliable hunter XP method that won't scale with your hunter level. Cannonball smithing. Cannonballs from bronze to dragon have been added to the game. You can smith bronze to ruined cannonballs provided you have the correct smithing requirements, but dragon can only be obtained as a rare drop. Incendiary, and chainshot cannonballs will not be available on launch as it's planned to come later. Thieving stalls and chest. Crime does indeed pay. Sailing is adding a pickpocketable pirate NPC, and merchant stalls containing things like clues, materials, and more. The Horn of Plenty. The Horn of Plenty is a new tradable hunter item. Equipped in the offhand slot and requiring level 50 hunter when equipped and charged with griffin feathers, it provides an invisible +4 boost to your hunter level. When uncharged and equipped, this boost will be a +2 hunter instead. While the horn is equipped, it consumes a charge every 1 in 25th hunter catch. Additionally, you can toggle it on to give a 1 in 10 chance to double a hunter catch. If you successfully double a hunter catch, it will consume an additional griffin feather, but this extra catch does not grant additional XP. You can only obtain the Horn of Plenty as a drop from regular griffins or their superior versions. Belly's Folly. Belly's Folly is a stab equivalent of the zombie axe, sitting between the dragon sword and the Zamorastian Hosta. As a new mid-level stab weapon, you can only obtain this drop from the shell-bearing griffin. This item will be dropped in the tarnished state, so you'll need to polish it by using it on a polishing wheel in the Giant's Foundry. This is locked behind a 70 smithing requirement, as well as completion of the Sleeping Giants. Aquanite Hopper. Aquanite have the chance of dropping an Aquanite Tendon, a tradable resource which combined with a Mithril Bar can create an Aquanite Hopper. This is a tradable ranged offhand that provides a 10% chance for crossbows to fire twice instead of once. The second bolt will not be reduced, will be reduced by 67% damage, accuracy, and enchanted bolt chance. Please note that the second bolt's effect, the enchanted effect, cannot activate if the first bolt already activated it. So essentially, this is sort of providing a sort of twin flame-like existence for the crossbows. Medallion of the Deep. During your sailing adventures, you'll have the chance to uncover hidden secrets. One such discovery is the Medallion of the Deep, an untradeable next slot item that functions as a specialized diving equipment, letting you explore underwater without the need for additional gear. Please note that the Medallion of the Deep does not work with areas with strict oxygen limit for balancing reasons. Slayer. The addition of Slayer includes several new Slayer changes. Lava Striker Worms, that was a kind of caught me off guard there for a second, I'm not gonna lie, one hell of a name, and their superior variant will be added to existing worm tasks. Strike worms have a chance of dropping dragon sheets, a rare material used within shipbuilding, and will always drop strike worm bones. We've also added two new unlockable tasks, the Griffin and the Aquanites, including the superior variants. The Shellbane Griffin and new Slayer boss has also been added, who can only be fought whilst on task. Frost Dragons can be fought outside of Slayer task. We can also get them as a Slayer task as well. They won't need to be unlocked with Slayer points. During testing, we evaluated how long it would take for players to fully upgrade every facility of the boat. The results showed that within the time investment required was significantly higher than intended. To help ensure this content feels rewarding rather than overly grindy, we've made some balance adjustments to the Slayer task weighting and quantities. Neve weighing 5, the old was 4, and quantity 60 to 100, where the old was just 20 to 30. Duradel, on the other hand, though, weighing 5, the old was 4, the quantity was updated to 70 to 120 from the old 30 to 40. We know that changing pull count after the fact isn't ideal, and we don't make these decisions lightly, but in this case, we're feeling like leaving things as they are, as it would result in an unnecessary long and frustrating grind, which isn't the experience we want at launch. As always, we'll be keeping an eye on your feedback. We can make further adjustments if needed. High scores. We're also adding a static pre-sailing top 100 overall page to immortalize those dedicated players who achieved their rank before sailing even released. These players have earned their name in history and will be a special golden goblet added next to their name, and we can't wait to see who those come out on top in the new race to 99. Feedback and bug reports. Sailing is one of our biggest updates ever. Although we've done our utmost to make sure that all issues have been fixed before the launch with the alpha and the beta testing, there may be bugs or unexpected issues to occur. To get issues fixed effectively, we triage them based mainly on player impact, ensuring that the most game-breaking ones are dealt with first where possible. We'll keep this on this news post updated with the most important bugs that we're aware of, and the game status page will also be updated for anything that might impact downtime. For any minor bugs or issues, make sure you kind of just reach out to them, let them know. We have spaces within the old school RuneScape Discord where you're able to reach out and just, tell them, let them know that you're coming across a small issue. Some bugs may be fixed straight away, while others may require a reboot to fix. We'll assess this based on our triage process, where most players impacting and game impacting ones are fixed as quickly as possible. If you encountered one, make sure you use the bug report button. We'd really appreciate it. Remember, there's also the sailing channel in the Discord for you to reach out to. This is stuff they really kind of always push out. Finally, we often check and own our own community run areas, so including X, Reddit, X is also Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Feel free to post there, and they'll do their best to update to you as you can. There's a lot of visual improvement in Z buffer fixes lately. We know that there's been a lot of issues with using the GPU and Ruin Light and stuff, where we're finding things aren't clipping properly through the ground. So you'll see that, like, if you're in your POH, your pool, right, where you usually drink, like the what is it? I can't think of the full name, but you know what I mean. The pool in your house. Ornate, there we go. You might see it clipping, or if you have monsters in the dungeons below, they may be clipping up through the ground. Understand they're working on Z buffer fixes to get this all patched out, and a lot of visual improvements as well. You'll see they'll address a bunch of batch of visual improvements and fixings, including everything you see here. It's just there's a lot to it, but don't really worry too much. You can kind of read that at your own pace. But they're going to slowly fix these issues as they go. With today's update, we introduced the digital audio to the game, right? So this is a new form of audio they've been talking about for a while. It expands the palette of sound that our audio designers can use to create visual effects for future areas of Gielinor, starting with sailing. For example, we use digital audio to improve the ocean ambience when adventuring through the different seas. As always, our intention is to retain that OSRS sound, identity, and feel, but now we can achieve this even quicker with an extra layer of polish while still maintaining that OSRS audio aesthetic. New sailing merch has been added thanks to Angelscapes. Go check that out. To give you that heads up, if you're in the US or you're outside the UK, there's a crazy tariff fee right now, so if you aren't really feeling like paying that price, I do not blame you. Hopefully we get it fixed out, but I think the last time I went to go check, it was like $85 for tariffs, which is no bueno. So keep that in mind, right, for the future. So hopefully they get the fix, because the work Angelscapes does is phenomenal. So go check that out. If you're in the UK, definitely take advantage of the opportunity. Other changes, right? They fixed a bug where the Ring of Suffering would lose charges even with its recoil effect was turned off. And Certif can now take wall runes directly from your rune pouch when you want during the wanted quest. And then there's the PvP rotation. You can see it there. It's moved to period B. So 560 is the UK PvP world. 319 is the US bounty hunter world. The US high risk world is 579. UK free to play PvP is 561. US is the LMS competitive at World 580. World 390, Australian is the LMS competitive, has been deactivated this rota, and World 509 or 569 for the Australia for the Bounty Hunter has been deactivated. And the arena is using the Zerker loadouts in ranked duels and tournaments this week.